Hello, beautiful souls. My name is Jaden, and this is Lighthouse 36. Today I'm going to be doing a very special reading for the collective. And this reading is about something that I picked up, an energy that I picked up for July 2026 while I was recording the July readings for all the zodiac signs. So basically, what I picked up was an energy of spiritual maturity, okay? And it looks like that we are going to have access to a very strong energy of spiritual maturity. So whether you have just become conscious of being on your spiritual journey, or you've been on this path for a long time and conscious of it and doing your healing, this energy is available to all. And it's happening during a Mercury retrograde, which is from June 29th to July 23rd. The Mercury retrograde, those are the dates that it's taking place, but the energy usually starts kicking in about a week before, so a week before June 29th, and approximately a week after July 23rd. So that's going to take us to the end of July. My feeling is that even though it's summertime, which is time to get out there, be socialize with friends and family and coworkers, barbecues and that sort of thing, summer barbecues. Um, uh, it's also a time to find balance, okay? A time to self-reflect and do some healing. So it's a good time to kind of strike a balance between the socializing that naturally happens in the summertime for many people, taking vacations as well, but also, self-reflecting and doing some healing work. If you do that, you are going to have access to um, a more spiritually evolved type of energy, okay, that's available. So, in other words, it's a chance to level up, okay, on your spiritual journey. So, I thought I'd do a special reading for this. I'm going to select 3 cards from this deck and 3 cards from this deck. If you're interested in finding out what these decks are, I always enter the names of the decks that I use in the description box below the YouTube video. Okay, let's get started. I can't wait to find out what Spirit has to tell us about July and the spiritual maturity energy. Spirit, please. Oh, and I almost forgot to mention, I also noticed that July seems to be a time for a lot of endings and new beginnings. Okay, Spirit, what messages do you have for the collective regarding the month of July and this access to this energy of spiritual maturity and leveling up in our spiritual journeys? Can you please give us 3 cards which gives us more information about this energy or what we should be doing in order to access this energy? Thank you, Spirit. I'm looking for 3 cards, please. Please guide us through these oracle cards. Oh, that one really, both of them, they really jumped out and wanted to come out. So the first one is Sir Lancelot. Choosing truth over the quick and easy path is often the key to genuine growth, self-discovery, and inner peace. Oh my goodness, yes. So, Spirit wants you to go inside and reflect on your truth. And are you living your truth? Okay? And in what way are you not living your truth? And how can you change that? And it may not be the easiest path, okay, when you choose your truth. So let me give you an example of this. If you're at a job where, perhaps the values of the business are not lining up or aligning with your own values, um, or perhaps, you're not being treated fairly at work in some way. Um, Maybe you've been promised a raise or a promotion and haven't gotten it, or you applied for something and didn't get it. Um, you know, Even though you've been, working so hard for so many years for the company or organization, and you felt you really deserved it. You've given it your all, and they don't seem to be appreciating it. Um, it may be time for you to move on. You may be comfortable where you are, stable, you feel stable, you've worked so hard, you've given this, whatever amount of years, 10, 20 years, but it's just not aligning with you anymore, okay? First you have to admit the truth to yourself before you can admit it to others, okay? And so first connect with that truth, and then from a place of balance, decide what you're going to do about it. It would be the same with a relationship. Maybe you've been in a long-term relationship. It could even be a short-term relationship, but it's just not jiving with you anymore. And you finally go in and are truthful about this to yourself, okay? And, and it's going to cause a lot of chaos and upheaval if you, um, you know, separate from this relationship, from this person. Um, and you're just staying in it because it's safe, it's secure, it's what you know. Maybe it's just time to at least be truthful with yourself and then decide from a healthy place, from a balanced place, what action you're going to be taking. But the first step is to be truthful with yourself, okay? And then be truthful with your spiritual team. Speak how you're feeling out loud, or write it out, type it out, that is the first step. Okay, so I'll just read that one last time. Choosing truth over the quick or easy path is often the key to genuine growth, self-discovery, and inner peace. Okay, so I'm not advising you in any way to leave any relationship. I'm just advising you, from what it looks like Spirit is saying here, for you to go inside and reflect on how you truly feel, what your truth is, okay? And share it with yourself, admit it to yourself, share it with your spiritual team, and then decide what action you're going to take from there. Okay, let's get the next one. Thank you, Spirit. Oh, magical herbs. Interesting. The earth provides you with everything you need to achieve complete healing and spiritual growth. Gaia's treasure chest is open to you. This is beautiful. I love this card. The images on this in this deck are just gorgeous, and the messages. So with this card, I'm feeling like it's a time to really get grounded and connect with Mother Earth, okay? Go out for some walks, sit on a bench, you don't have to, you can meditate, you don't have to be in the full meditation pose or yoga poses, but just sit there, reflect, connect with Mother Earth, okay? Connect with the birds, with nature, with the trees, okay? Listen to your inner voice, listen to the wind. It's time to connect with the earth. And it's also a time of healing. So this may involve, going to see a psychologist, praying, speaking with your spiritual team. Spirit is giving me right now, speaking out loud, not just in your head. This seems to be important for some of you to speak it out loud, okay? Maybe run a bath and speak out loud to your spiritual team. Maybe get out there and do some gardening. Mow the lawn. Mow the lawn. Um, Something that gets you out of your head, okay? Time to connect with the earth. And as I was saying before, the energetic, with healing, it could be speaking to a psychologist, it could be energetic healing, journaling, meditation, um, uh, anything like this, anything that resonates with you. Okay, beautiful. Thank you, Spirit. Okay, we're going to take one last card from this deck, please, Spirit. One last message from this deck. How can people connect with the spiritual maturity, energy, and level up on their spiritual journey during the month of July, during the Mercury retrograde? The white stag. Oh my goodness, this is so beautiful. You are on the right path towards something grand and meaningful. Follow your calling and let nothing distract you from your goal. Oh my goodness, this is beautiful. The white stag represents leadership, okay? So Spirit is asking you to take leadership of your life, and you can call on the white stag spirit to guide you during this time. Um, the white stag spirit will be there for you if you call upon the spirit. Um, I'm just going to see what else I'm getting from this card. Yes, I'm hearing be gentle with yourself, and but at the same time, set your boundaries with others from a healthy place. Okay. So, like I said, in July with the Mercury retrograde, and also the other energy I was picking up of a lot of endings and beginnings, it may be that you decide that you're going to start applying for other jobs. This is just an example. But you may not be called for an interview until after the Mercury retrograde. It may be that you just decide to look for other jobs, but you don't do so until after the Mercury retrograde. Um, it could be that you're already looking for other jobs, and perhaps during the Mercury retrograde nothing comes in, or perhaps you're called for some interviews, but you don't start it till after the Mercury retrograde. It's actually really advised during the Mercury retrograde that you don't sign any contracts because there's room for miscommunication. So if you are signing any kind of contracts during the Mercury retrograde, please take a very good look at it, okay? And perhaps get some legal advice if you need it, or have someone else look at it, or a couple of pairs of eyes before signing anything. But definitely with the white stag, Spirit is asking you to take leadership of your life. Be gentle with yourself, okay? If you've been in a long-term relationship, be it professional or personal, for a very long time, and you're like, why did I just realize this now? Why did I stay in this, relationship or this job for so long? Don't beat yourself up. For whatever reason, you had to learn what you had to learn along the way, and now you've realized it, that it's time to leave, and that's what's important. Be gentle with yourself. Or if you submit, an application and you realize after, oh goodness, I made a mistake, don't beat yourself up for that, okay? It just means that perhaps it's going to go unnoticed and the job really is for you, or it could mean that that job isn't for you. Just correct it and start again, like that kind of pick yourself up, dust yourself off type of energy, and start all over again type of energy. Okay, thank you, Spirit. All right, let's get some messages from this other deck. I will be reading from the booklet for this deck. 3 messages regarding this energy in July regarding spiritual maturity and leveling up during the Mercury Retrograde. This energy of endings and new beginnings, please, for many of the zodiac signs. 3 cards from this deck, Spirit, please. What advice do you have for the collective? The resting tree. Yes, patience and stillness. So just like this, where I was saying, be gentle with yourself. Yes, be patient and take the time to be still. Like I was saying, to do some healing, to meditate, to be out in nature, to sleep, napping, sleeping. It's important, It's kind of like that saying, everything gets done, when you're not doing anything. Sometimes when we sleep, there's so much healing taking place. Or if we take naps, it's a time to take very good care of yourself, to eat nutritious meals, okay? A time for self-reflection. And if you do decide that it's time now, if it's your truth, if that resonates with you, to end something and start anew, maybe just take the month of July off and just for reflecting, looking at the past, taking stock of your life, what you've all the lessons you've learned so far, and how you want to integrate these lessons into your future. What role did you have to play in all this? Like with the job example, are you a people pleaser? Do you see red flags and not speak up? That sort of thing. What role did you have to play? And I'm not finger pointing, because I go through this practice regularly. What role did I have to play when something goes wrong, and how do I want to change that? Or what do I want to change about myself? How do I want to integrate the lessons? So you may not start applying for jobs or looking for a new partner right away. It's a time for reflection. So it's whatever resonates with you. And that's okay if you just can't handle it right now for July. That's okay if you can't handle looking for a new job right now, or handle looking for a new partner or a new home, etc., new friend group. It's okay. Just, create some space between you and whatever's not working for you in your life, whether it's a person, place, or thing. Start doing some planning, rest, and start preparing for what actions you will be taking after July, after the Mercury retrograde. That's okay. So let me read from that booklet. Okay, the resting tree, patience and stillness. The resting tree is a sign for you to stop focusing and planning and be at peace in the moment. This is the representative of non-action and relaxation. Patience is the key to being with this ally. The resting tree asks you to slow down, sit back, and watch the roses bloom and the birds feed in the meadow. This isn't the time to forge ahead in any way. You may not be taking enough breaks, so you're invited to be still and contemplate your good fortune, even if it means blessing the chaos in your life. This is a sign to allow everything to fall away except the stillness of the moment. It's like living within the space between breaths. When the resting tree appears, it signals that you've done all you can for now and it's time to unwind and allow your story to unfold in its own accord. You've earned the right to rest and relax. Amazing ideas will come if you do. Remember the ancient saying, we do without doing and everything gets done. Wow, what a powerful message. Yes, so I'm finding that it's really, really connecting to all of the cards above, okay? All the messages above. What I was saying here, well, here first with going inside, reflecting, just being truthful with yourself, connecting with Mother Earth, being gentle with yourself, okay? Yes, and the other thing I wanted to say, it actually came to my conscious, oh gosh, I'm having trouble saying that word at the moment. It came up for me while I was reading these. I think this card, but it went back down below the surface and it's come back up again. So when I was saying doing without, everything gets done when you're not doing anything and sleeping and that sort of thing. So don't try to force your truth. Don't try to force your answers in any way or what you're going to be doing, what action you're going to be taking. Let the ideas flow to you. Go with the flow. Sometimes after a good night's sleep, you wake up, and suddenly some answers come to you. You have an epiphany moment, or when you're brushing your teeth after a good night's sleep, let the answers come to you naturally. Don't try to force it. Okay. All right. Let's get 2 more cards, please, Spirit. 2 more cards. During Mercury retrograde, a lot of people talk about technology failing you, not signing contracts, this sort of thing. But there's something that's less talked about during Mercury retrograde. You may have some very vivid dreams and people from the past visiting you in your dreams. This is the soul's way of kind of making peace with everything from the past. And it could even be spirits letting you know that they're with you, or it could be making peace with the past. Okay, so if you're having dreams about a lot of people from your past or people who've passed away, this is very, very normal. If you're having very vivid dreams, it's a great idea to journal about them. I'm not sure if this is for everybody, but for me, when a dream doesn't make sense to me, but I know it's important and I start to journal about it, suddenly, I start understanding the messages from the dream, okay? This works a lot better for me than just, searching what does this mean, because if you search like a dream journal, it can be helpful, but it's not always applicable because you're dreaming about something in a certain context, you know. So I find that journaling about the dream really helps me to understand what the dream is about. Okay. And also sometimes I say, oh, that was a crazy dream. And then suddenly I'm, in the meditation or just a relaxed kind of state. And I suddenly understand what the dream was about. So that may happen to you as well. Okay, one more message, Spirit, or 2 more messages, please. Okay, for the collective. The Spirit Whisperer, divine guidance, higher knowing. Wow. Yeah, the owl here represents wisdom. Let me bring that a little bit closer. The owl represents wisdom, and it looks like you are going to be guided during these points of reflection and your dreams, as I was speaking about that. Let's read what the card says. You're definitely being divinely guided at this time. As an ally, as an ally, the spirit whisperer comes to you heralding the miraculous and the inspired. She whispers guidance from the divine through your higher senses so that you can hear her wisdom and know her love for you. She is committed to helping you intuit the next right action and steers you away from trouble. The spirit whisperer keeps you inspired to move forward, always knowing just in time the correct next step. She guides you to fulfill your highest purpose. When she appears, it's a sign of inspired ideas that, with continual action, lead to success. That's a very good omen. If your question is about a relationship, the spirit whisperer speaks of soul connections, past lives, and great learning through mutual mirroring. She will whisper how long, how short, how deep, and how sweet the relationship can be. There were soul bargains made even before you both were born here, and an exploration is in order. You may move forward, but keep listening to the spirit whisperer for the lessons that the vulnerability of love brings. Please excuse me, the Mercury retrograde is already starting to affect me. It's affecting my ability to communicate, obviously. And I even had a washer break down. Air conditioning in my condo has broken down. So it's already impacting me. So I'm sorry if I'm not communicating as clearly as usual. You'll have to forgive me for that. Yes, so you are being guided. Spirit wants you to know that you are not alone during this period, during this time of reflection and speaking your truth and this period of rest, okay? Connecting with nature. You are not alone. One last message, please, for the collective, Spirit. One last message. Okay, 3, I think that's too many, Spirit. I'm putting them back. I just want one last message, please. One last message, please, for the collective. Okay, Spirit's giving us 2. I'm going to take it. Okay, the spiral dancer. Well, let's see what it says here. Circuitous root? I'm sorry, I have no idea what this word means. And perception. Circuitous root. Let me just look that up, what that means. Just a moment. Certitious. Well, I'm not sure. Let me hear that. No, that's not certitious. Circuitous root, I'm sorry if I'm not pronouncing that correctly, is an indirect, winding, or roundabout path or journey. In both physical travel and figurative speech, like in an argument, it describes the path that avoids taking a direct line, often making a loop or taking longer than necessary to reach the destination. Okay. All right, we'll read what that's about. And perception. Yeah, what I'm picking up from this card is, you may have had one path in mind. For example, maybe you've been working at a job or been in a relationship for a very long time, and you thought you were going to just spend, the rest of your life with this person or retire from this job. You thought it was going to go, one way, but now you're considering an alternate route, okay? Um, uh, and it may feel like, oh, I don't know if I have the energy for this, you know. Maybe you want to play it safe and just ride it out till the end anyway, even though you're not living the life that you really want to live or what your soul wants you to live. um you know, I keep hearing, not again, not again. You're being rerouted. You're being rerouted. And it's like, oh goodness, not again. And I understand that feeling for sure. Especially as you get older, it gets harder and harder. um, you know, but it's the perception, it's how you perceive it, you know? Um, you know, instead of perceiving it as a negative thing, try perceiving it as a positive thing. Um, you know, maybe if you go to a new job, that's where you're going to meet the love of your life, you know? Or if you move to a new neighborhood, maybe you're going to meet your new best friend or make a great friend circle. But let's see what the booklet has to say. The spiral dancer moves with her own rhythm and steps to music only she can hear. She takes you on a path that is winding and circular. She assures you that what you're experiencing as a setback is really part of an upward spiral. Perception is everything. You're not retracing your steps or going backward, but rather around and up. She says that you can be comforted knowing that your path is one of success, adventure, and experience. Follow her, for she dances along a magical way. You know, and I'm just getting the message that, you know, if you have to change jobs, for instance, and you say, oh my goodness, what a waste of time, or in a relationship, what a waste of time. I gave all this energy and effort and now I'm cutting my losses and moving on. What a waste. You know, don't look at it that way. Whatever you've learned, all the skills you've developed, you're going to take that wherever you go. If you are asking about a relationship, keep on dancing and magic will soon happen. Also, it's okay to allow someone else to take the lead at this time. Make sure to let others know that you're open. Always remember that relationships are mirrors and will show you the past, present, and potential future. Yeah, I'm hearing like, let spirit take the lead, let God take the lead, let the white stag take the lead, your spiritual guides, let them lead you to where you need to be. All relationships have a destiny. Each is a sacred teacher with valuable lessons to share, even if it appears that the two of you are dancing in different directions. All the steps are perfect, even when you may seem to be stumbling. The spiral dancer is a reminder that destiny's true path is seldom straight. Okay. Yes, you were expecting to go linear on a linear path, but you've been taken around in circles, or you're being taken around in circles. Okay. Yeah, I'm hearing the word frustrating. It can sometimes be very frustrating when that happens. But in the end, it's always worth it somehow. The map maker of destiny, authentic purpose, inspiration, and free will. Yeah. Yeah, I'm hearing the judgment card in the traditional tarot. You're being led to your destiny. You're being led to your destiny. And I feel like, you know, you want to live a more authentic life. Like perhaps you're not living very authentically right now and you want to live a more authentic life, you know? and you're trying to reflect and see like how that can be. You know, we all need to pay our bills, so maybe you can't afford to leave your full-time job right now, but maybe you can do, you know, what you love just for fun or on a part-time basis. You know, make the time to do the things you love and bring you joy. You know, try to live a more authentic life, to be more truthful. Um, you know, perhaps join a group. It could be like a drum circle or something you've always wanted to join or be involved with. Like, for example, I had a full-time job at one point in my life, and um, I have a teaching degree, and the full-time job I was doing had nothing to do with teaching, and I felt like I wanted to work with students again, one-on-one, so, and make a bit of extra money. So I tutored part-time, you know, in the evenings, something along these lines. Maybe you want to meet more people, you know, and you could join some kind of group, spiritual group or religious group or political group, or something where you learn something, a class where you learn something you've always wanted to learn, maybe AI or knitting or sewing. Um, you know, um, I had a counselor once tell me a very long time ago, I was feeling very frustrated with, you know, having to work full time at jobs that weren't truly authentic to me, and not being able to do what I really wanted to do. So she gave me some very good advice. She said, get a job where there's not a lot of responsibility. It's just, you know, your 9 to 5 job. You do it, you get it over with, it pays the bills, and then you do what you truly love and start working towards that. I think that's really good advice. Um, it's important to make the time to do what you love, okay? What feels more authentic to you. And hey, maybe you love the job you're doing, but you want to live more authentically in other ways. Okay, let's read what the map maker of destiny has to say. When the map maker of destiny appears, it's a sign that you're being given an opportunity to transform fate into destiny. At birth, each human being is given a unique map with myriad paths that intersect with one another. Your map of destiny shows all the places you're meant to visit, places where you will be challenged to evolve into the highest aspects of self. Remember that you're a spark of the divine come to earth to experience self in human form. As such, your path is unique. It's also somewhat preordained, and fate represents the events in your life that were meant to happen, that you can't change. Fate is transformed into destiny according to how you respond to your circumstances. Destiny offers you the ability to make great opportunities out of fated experience. So, free will and choice are possible at certain points on your map. Now is one of those times. You're faced with a relationship or circumstance brought to you by fate. How you respond will lead you into perfect destiny. Your ally may assume the form of a soulmate come to heal your heart and be your companion. Perhaps your challenger makes you face the things within you that must change in order for you to express your highest good. Maybe fate brings you an ally in the form of a wonderful new project, or a challenger in the form of a failed business. No matter which form they take, all are perfect expressions of fate inviting you into your destiny. Pay attention as your map unfolds now, and remember that fate makes the map, but destiny is determined by the manner in which you engage your journey. Yeah. So I'm really getting a connection here to this card with perception, how you're perceiving things, you know. So let's take the example of a relationship ending, okay? A relationship ends and you're like, it's okay, have a pity party, feel sorry for yourself, let yourself feel your emotions, okay? Your feelings, your emotions. Um, Dive into them, but don't stay stuck there, okay? That's where people kind of have difficulty in the process. Feel your feelings, okay? But don't stay stuck there. Um, and start perceiving things in a different way. Um, uh, for example, maybe, okay, this relationship, this job has ended, but it's an opportunity for you to find, um, you know, um, oh, a buzzard going off from my dryer. I don't know if you heard that. Maybe it's an opportunity to find an even better job that pays better, where you'll be happier. Maybe it's an opportunity, like if you had a partner who didn't like to travel, now you can travel, you know. Maybe it's a job, that didn't have the opportunity to travel, but you want to travel, or work remotely. Look at it as some kind of opportunity, or an opportunity to better yourself, to live a more authentic life. Okay, collective, those are the messages that Spirit had for you today. I hope you enjoyed this reading, and I'm wishing you all the very best on your journey and so much love. Bye for now.